Hey y'all, I'm Allie. Welcome to Little Hill Homestead. If you're new here, let me just give you a warning that this is Little Hill Homestead. You never know what you're gonna get on our channel. We go on rants, which are basically little tantrums of me talking about nothing, kind of like what I'm doing right now. And if you get tired of me, you can hit the description button and all of our recipes populate below. You don't even have to listen to what I say. So today, a lot of you guys, over the last few months, I said, hey, what kind of recipes do you want me to make for you? And you said over and over and over, we want freezer meals. Well, this is a little bit different because it's not a make-ahead meal, but it's really a lot easier on the flip side when you go and defrost it to make it. So what I'm gonna be showing you guys today are a bunch of different marinades that you can put on pork or chicken and have an easy meal. All you do is defrost it, leave it in the fridge for the day, and then cook it that night, and you've got the perfect meal. Boom, my type of thing. So the first one I'm gonna be showing you guys, I have pre-labeled a bunch of gallon Ziplocks. I find this to be the easiest way to store them. The marinade fits in the bag with the chicken, and I have them labeled so that I know what the heck is in my freezer, because let's be real, unless I go like this, I don't know, it's mystery meat, right? So I have this little doodad, Sean got me quite a few Christmases ago, and it holds Ziplocks open. How nifty is that? It's from Amazon. I'll see if I can find it below. So I have an entire huge pile of chicken breasts over here. Let me move it over here. Make my life a little bit easier. I have this huge pile of chicken breasts. I found a really good deal, middle of the week, so I cleaned them up, and here we go. So our first recipe is gonna be for a sticky Asian chicken. It's like a garlic, sweet, kind of teriyaki type of a chicken. I am gonna take 2 breasts and I'm going to cut them up just so that they're like bite size. I'm gonna try to cut them on this cutting board. I don't know if you can even see. Ugh, I probably should have pre-cut these. If this takes forever, I will clip it out. But I don't wanna do it on here. But basically all I'll do is cut it into bite-sized pieces really, really quickly with my knife. So for this one, a lot of them I pre-measured all my spices. This one I kind of didn't, it's fine. Let me get a little tiny bowl. For this one, we need, I'm trying to gather my ingredients, 2 tablespoons of evoo going into my bowl. This is the one from Azure Standard. We usually get it at Costco, but honestly, the price of olive oil has gone just bonkers. So we decided to get this little 32 ouncer from Azure just to try. We need 1/4 cup of brown sugar. This is our homemade brown sugar made with molasses. If you don't know how to do it, super duper easy. I always say, I'm gonna try to remember to link stuff below. I never remember. So you can always, on the main search bar for YouTube, go type in Little Hill Homestead, our name, and whatever it is you're looking for. So if you're looking to see if we've ever made, I don't know, pick something. If we have, it'll show right up, because I need to go through and retag and clean up my videos. There's too many now. The next thing you need is 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. We like to use low sodium soy sauce. That's my favorite. If you, for some reason, cannot use soy, you can totally use coconut aminos. It's very, very similar. The next thing we need, I, by the way, sat here and peeled 4 heads of garlic, and I juiced a bunch of lemons because they were getting old in my fridge and I needed to use them up. So that's kind of what started this whole thing. What is on? A tablespoon of garlic cloves. That's my type of tablespoon. If it says like garlic, I'm always like 2, 3 times what it says. Okay, this one has a tablespoon of ginger. So we had some ginger that we just store in the fridge. It lasts forever. Just grate it up. Then we need, did I really put the pepper away? Why would I not put the pepper away? Let me grab some pepper. I'm just gonna fresh crack some pepper on top of here. If you use like a spoonful of it, spoonful. What type of spoon are you using? I would do probably a 1/4 teaspoon. Maybe just a little bit more than that, up to you. I'm just gonna mash this together. You can double this sauce easily if you want it to be like plenty of juicy sauce to put over like rice or something like that. I also love to make this one for lunch prep. So if you're a big lunch prep person, I used to lunch prep every Sunday for the whole week. This was a great one with some white rice. It microwaved really, really well. Okay, that's it. I'm making sure. Yeah. So I just pour this over my chicken. So this one, when I go to make it at home, I defrost it. Let me put this over here. I defrost it in the fridge or the countertop, however you feel safe doing chicken. And then when I go to make it, all I do is dump the entire contents into a pan and get to cooking. It will become like sticky and delicious, and the chicken cooks through. I love to serve it with like either bok choy or edamame or some kind of veggie and some white rice. So that's our number one. It's like very like teriyaki-esque, but I call it sticky Asian ginger chicken because it's got ginger in it. Actually, it probably has more garlic than ginger, but there's number one. So I'm just gonna put these to the side. Like I said, I just put them in my freezer ready to go. Number two, why all of a sudden now am I gonna choke on nothing? Number two, these ones I kind of planned a little bit better. We'll see, maybe not. This one is, this one I love. When the kids were little, we called these ranch chicken sandwiches. It's basically a honey mustard chicken breast that I do in the oven or I grill on the barbecue, just depends on what I feel like doing that day. I put it on a hamburger bun with just some mayonnaise or whatever, and then we do some thick cut bacon, some cheddar cheese, and we kind of just serve it on that. And it's almost like a honey mustard bacon cheese sandwich. Complicated stuff, right? So for this one, let me see if I can find my ziplock again. Here we go. I should have laid these out with it, but you know, why would I be organized? No. Hey, here it is. So on this one too, I wrote honey mustard ranch chicken sandwiches, and then it's 2 pieces butterflied. So I know that there's 4 sandwiches worth in here. I just do 4, but they're thin, like thinner. So if you have a dude in your house who likes to eat a lot, or a teenager in our case, sometimes he'll do 2. So I do it like that. So for my butterfly chicken, man, my organization skills here. I swear, my life, I had it pulled together at one point. I just lost it again. So to butterfly a chicken breast, I just take one of our chicken breasts. Let me move them out of the way. I put my hand on top of it, and you slice about halfway through with a nice sharp knife, avoiding your hand. Go all the way through till you get to the other end, and you end up with 2 chickens. We're gonna do one more like that. Let's use you. Same thing. I go from the fattest side to the thinner side. I don't know why, it just works better that way. And you can kind of feel it. You don't, obviously won't stab yourself, but I just pull the whole way through and you butterfly it. It cooks a little bit faster and it allows it to marinate, but when you put it on a chicken sandwich, when it shrinks up a little bit, it's like the perfect thickness. All right. Now let me get my life back in order. I told myself I was gonna cut the chicken ahead of time so it was ready to go, but I forgot. So these ones I'm just gonna mix in these little, I'm making a mess over here. I'm gonna mix in these little bowls because it's easy. So to this one, we have 1/4 of a cup of yellow mustard. I pre-measured our spices, but 1/4 cup of mustard going in. I don't wanna use that. I have a spatula over here that you guys have sent me that I probably should grab for these kind of containers, but I'm not gonna wipe it on myself. I will, however, grab the little spatula because, oh, I know you're in here. Well, then we're gonna grab this one because it's the one I grabbed. So we have our mustard. You need 1/4 of a cup of honey. We use the raw honey from Azure Standard. We go through like almost a jar of this every single month. It is delicious. And we use honey as a sweetener in a ton of recipes. It is quite tasty. What are our favorites? I like the orange blossom, but this is the berry wildflower, which we also really like. The orange blossom's a little more like a traditional honey flavor. Hey, look, 1/4 a cup of honey going in with our mustard. I wonder why it's called honey mustard. The next thing we need is the juice of 1/2 of a lemon. I juiced a whole bunch of lemons ahead of time, so I'm just gonna take about 1/2 of a tablespoon of lemon juice and pop it in there. To that, already in here, I had 1/4 of a teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, and a tiny little sprinkle of red pepper flakes. So all I'm gonna do, these are not the ideal bowls for this, y'all, but it's what worked. It's what I had. You just mix that together, you guys. It has this, my kids when they were young, this was one that they would ask for over and over and over. And I'm sorry, but when I was running to like baseball and doing all the like mom stuff and homeschooling and things, the last thing I wanted to do was wake up first thing in the morning and make marinade and then have to grill it at night. They loved it, I hated it. So I figured out eventually that if I sat down and pre-marinated a bunch of it, it was a whole lot easier and I didn't mind when they wanted it. Sometimes, you know, being a mom, you're just in survival mode. I felt like I was in survival mode for like years and years. We still have one at home, so there's days where I question, like, every mom questions. Like, I'm not the only one, I know this. Like, did I do everything I could? Did I teach them everything that I could have before they left my house? Everybody thinks they could have done more, but you know what? My kids adore us, and they don't leave. They didn't leave. Our first one didn't leave till he was 27. So we obviously did something right because they're still here all the dang time. Anyways, I dumped it in with my chicken breast that we butterflied. Seal it up. And I just squish that around so that it's over all of our chicken before we put it in the freezer. But like I said, pull this out. This one, I barbecue until it's cooked through. I put it on a hamburger bun with some bacon, a little bit of mayonnaise, and some cheddar cheese melted over the top of it. You can cook these in the oven if you want. I'll look at the temperature. I think it's 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Throw the cheese on there in the last like 3 minutes and you're good to go. Number 2, ranch chicken, done. Done. Okay, how about this? The next one, I'm gonna grab the bag and I'm gonna make whatever that one is. All right, fajitas. You guys, if you've watched our channel for any amount of time, may have seen that we do a lot of spice videos. I don't like to buy pre-made spice mixes. You can make them yourself for a fraction of the price. So that's what we tend to do. We made a fajita seasoning, I think at Christmas time, that we keep in a jar. I had some oranges that we need to use up because they're starting to get pretty soft. And so I thought, I'll show you all what the heck we do around here. This one I did not pre-measure because no point. I feel like I'm all over the place. So for this one, I do pre-slice my chicken into strips. I just do thin strips like that until, I'm gonna do 2 chicken breasts, by the way. Kind of like that size. I'm not fancy. This is a Rada knife, R-A-D-A. I've had a couple of you ask about knives. I probably need to do a knife like tutorial. Show you guys a couple basic things, show you the knives that we enjoy using. These are really, really good and they are not expensive. We have a lot of knife companies reach out to us saying, hey, I'm gonna send you knives to try. And over and over, I'm like, nope. I'd rather just keep my Radas. I have a couple fancy ones that we've got, you know, over the years for Christmas gifts and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I have a really nice one, but a couple really nice ones, but I tend to grab the Radas the most. We got the Radas for our wedding back when we were 18 years old, and we still have a majority of those, and then there's a few that we've replaced over the years. They sharpen up great. Okay, there's my 2 chicken breasts sliced up. Let me get my hand cleaned off. I'm going to juice. I'm gonna do 2 oranges. You can do orange juice as well, just like if you have pre-made orange juice. If you have frozen orange juice, just throw a spoonful of it in there and a little bit of water. Nothing too fancy, nothing technical here. We'll make it fit, we'll make it fit. I'm just gonna juice that right into the bag and onto the counter and all over the world. Here we go. Probably could do it by hand better than this thing, but it's fine. I just invested money and bought my son a really nice juice, or similar to this one. Yeah, I have one from a Boy Scout. It's shooting everywhere. A Boy Scout thing. I don't have a fancy one. It's plastic and I've had it for years. And it's fine. Why spend money unless you have to? And I just totally squirted down my face. So there's my juice of my oranges. Put it in my compost, which is my trash can right now because I didn't want to walk outside because it's 20 degrees. Now we need to do a little bit of olive oil. It's like a tablespoon. I just kind of do a little drizzle. Maybe a tablespoon and a half that was because it glugged. Then this is our fajita marinade. I make a bunch at a time and I'll have to redo it now. But I would say, should I measure for you guys? Probably. I'm gonna do Let me try 2 tablespoons and see what that looks like. Yeah, that's gonna be good. 2 tablespoons going on. Chicken, fajita mix, orange juice, and oil. That is it for this one. Again, just squish it around. Make sure that the marinade and the orange juice is all around your chicken, that every piece has some on it. You don't want like a clump of dry, you know? Okay, marinade number 3. Done, fajitas. And I also write on here, already sliced. If you wanna write, how do I make fajitas? I'll tell you that too. If you wanna write on here like quick directions on how to make it, you can too. I've made this so many times, I just know. I defrost this. I literally throw it in a cast iron skillet or a pan with just a tiny bit of oil, cook it till it's cooked through. In a different pan, I do some peppers and onions with just a little more of our fajita mix, and then we just eat it in a tortilla. Throw some sour cream on it or some cheese with some canned black beans. You have the perfect meal. That will easily feed 3 people 2 tacos each. Boom. Easy peasy. I'm saving one of these for last because it's Sean's recipe, and I'm gonna make him come in here. All right, the next one, this one we like to do, it's called chicken shawarma. It's like a Greek, I think it's a Greek chicken. I'm gonna do 2 chicken breasts, whole, just going into my bag. Let me get a couple things out of my way that I don't need. Like I said, I love this because you'll do this. It probably will take you about 45 minutes. If you didn't section everything out to be pretty like I did, this could go faster. What I typically do is I put the recipe in front of each bag, and I have 7 bags lined up, and I'll go down the line and add, because there are a lot of similar ingredients in them. So I'll just go down the line and do it. But anyways, chicken shawarma, here we go. This one is the zest of 2 lemons, which I've got right here, going into my bowl. The juice of 2 lemons. Any lemon juice I have left over after I do this, I will just freeze in a Ziploc baggie, and then I just break pieces off of it. 2/3 of a cup of olive oil. I've got my measuring cup. So this one, we love to do homemade naan. It's like a flatbread. We have a recipe on the channel. That stuff is so good. You just grill it in a pan. We do some roasted veggies with it. We cook this on the barbecue. And then we'll usually make homemade tzatziki to go with it, which is like a cucumber garlic sort of sauce. I really need to make that for you guys because it's delicious. Okay, in my bowl already, I had 4 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of cumin. You can use regular paprika. The smoked is better, but if you don't have it. 2 teaspoons of coriander, 2 teaspoons of red pepper flakes, a teaspoon of turmeric, 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Like I said, I will put all these recipes below, so you don't need to sit there. Some of you guys are like, I can't write as fast as you talk. If you watch on a TV, I don't think there's a way to hit it. I haven't figured it out, and we watch on our TV. But if people leave recipes below, I usually have to go jump on my computer or my phone and try to find it. We, by the way, are working. I don't have enough hours in the day. Let me just say that. We are working very hard this year. I'm hoping in the first 3 months of this year, I'll be able to get to it on getting like a WordPress or some kind of blog that I can send you guys to, and all the recipes will be on there and printable. We'll see. I'm going to try to make it happen in 2025. Anyways, our marinade just goes over our 2 chicken breasts. This would easily be able to marinate 3 or 4 chicken breasts. There's a lot of this marinade, or just half the marinade. Again, boom. Like I said, we barbecue this one just on the barbecue. And then once it comes off, I slice it into thin strips. Serve it with some tzatziki or ranch in a pita bread. Over like a rice pilaf, if you go to do like our rice-a-roni that we made the other day in one of our jars, something like that. Some roasted like Mediterranean type vegetables, eggplant. We love eggplant. I know a lot of people don't, but there you go. There's our chicken shawarma. Next, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. Okay. I know I have some crossover because I'm reusing some of the same spoons and stuff. if you have somebody with an allergy, you probably wouldn't be making any of these anyways, or at least take those ingredients out. So I don't get overly worried about cross-contamination in our house. I know. If I knew somebody in my life was going to be coming over, then I just wouldn't use these. The next one. What is she talking about? The next one we're going to be making. It's called pineapple chicken. This one is like a sweet, basically a sweet and savory type chicken. We like to do this one with some white rice and maybe some like broccoli or something like that. It's just got a nice like sweet kick to it. I need 2 chicken breasts in my bag. That's a small one. I don't want to do that one. I want a big mamba jumbo. If I'm doing all this work, I want it to be worth it. Why did this come apart? Come on, stay on there. Because I dropped it in there like it was hot. No, she didn't. Okay, I will wash this towel when this is all over, by the way. So, to this, we need 1/4 cup of pineapple juice. We can our own pineapple juice. We have a recipe on the channel for it somewhere. When I can actual pineapples, I save the cores and peels, I boil them down, and we can the juice that it makes. So I need 1/4 cup of this. Sometimes I'll do a splash more, but and it's not like as strong as commercial pineapple juice, but it's close. It's close enough that I'm happy with it. Pineapple juice going in to my bowl. I don't know why I put it in there. I should put it in here, but it's fine. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Again, it's the low sodium soy sauce going in. I need 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, or, you know, do whatever you want in there. A little more is fine. Did I do? Nope, I didn't do this yet. 1 tablespoon of evoo. See what I mean? A lot of it is crossing over, like the same kind of ingredients, and you get completely different flavors. So that's why I kind of put everything out, jam through a bunch of them, and then you have a bunch of meals. Or if you wanted to do a bunch of the same one, if you had a big enough freezer, you could literally do 14 meals in no time. So where was I? Okay, in my dish, I had 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. We're just gonna mix that together, dump it in with our pineapple juice over our chicken, and there you guys go. It's kind of like a Hawaiian chicken. We sometimes call it aloha chicken, but it's a pineapple chicken. Like I said, I just like to grill this up, slice it, serve it with like some white rice, coconut rice, something like that. Grilled veggies, easy. I don't know why I put that down when I knew I was going to need it. All right. If you don't want to barbecue, by the way, anything that I say, hey, you can barbecue, you can easily do in your oven. We have a recipe on the channel. I'll try to remember to link it below for the perfect chicken breast. I think it's 425 or 450 degrees for 20 minutes, and I just use that anytime I'm going to do one of these. Okay. Who's next, y'all? Who's next? Getting to the nitty gritty here. Okay, the next one, this is more like a, I don't know, more, I don't want to say bland because that's the wrong word to use. A basic. This is a lemon garlic herb chicken. Again, 2 chicken breasts going into the bag. This isn't basic, it's just maybe not like, I like chicken that's like sweeter or has a little more going on. This is definitely a more basic. I would serve this with like some mashed potatoes, maybe some green beans with some grilled mushroom and garlic in them. A little more on that line, if that makes sense. So we have our 2 chicken breasts. We need 1/4 cup of evoo going into the bowl. I'll tell you what's in the bowl as I get to it, by the way. We need, what is equal to 3 garlic cloves minced. So I'm going to do about 3 tablespoons. Or, you know, kind of whatever falls in the bowl. I need to save a little of this for our last recipe. Then I need 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. Did I not get lemon? Oh, Wow, her brain. 3 tablespoons of lemon juice going in. Was your brain with you all day? Uh-huh. Do you guys remember Bill Cosby himself? I know, but he's all controversial and crazy now, but it's fine. But back in the day, everybody loved him. Okay, into the bowl originally what I had was a teaspoon of ground mustard, 1 teaspoon of dried dill, because I didn't have it in my greenhouse, 1/4 of a teaspoon of honey. Nope, 1/4 a teaspoon of salt, sorry. We need, and then I went out to my greenhouse, even though it's freezing outside, we had a bunch of herbs growing. So I threw some thyme, basil, sage, whatever herbs you want to throw in, whatever sounds good to you, that's what you do. To this last thing we're going to be adding is some honey. I need 2 tablespoons of honey. So it has that little sweetness, the little bit of herb, the little bit of like lemon zing. I like this one. Like, I call it basic, but it's only because it's not Asian-y or, you know, anything kind of off the wall like some of our other ones we did. It's a little more simple. Okay, I'm just gonna stir our beautiful little herbs. I just gave the herbs a little quick chop, by the way. And if there's an herb you don't like, leave it out and just put something else in it. But I went through the little aisleway of our greenhouse and was like, who wants to jump in my little basket and go into this recipe? And they were like, I do. Rosemary, thyme, oregano, basil. They're all still growing in there. Our oregano's going crazy still, even though I've put it in the greenhouse for the winter. It's still happy as can be, and we're still getting bell peppers. I wanted to see what overwintering bell peppers, or peppers in general, was like, and they're still producing. Even though I was going to cut them back, they're still like enjoying life, so I'm just letting them do their thing. Okay. I was going to try to make this like pretty and do cuts between each one, so it was like, oh, everything's so organized, and come on now. Not what happened. This is real life, y'all. That's what I say. It's real life here on Little Hill Homestead. So I put that over my chicken breast, and again, I'm just gonna massage it in so that we have a beautiful marinade. The olive oil in some of these recipes will turn funny colors. As it's cold, it gets foggy. It'll defrost, and then it'll be totally fine. So again, this one I will pop on the barbecue or pop in the oven. You can do some of these in the air fryer too, by the way. I'll look at my air fryer time. I think it's about 20 minutes as well, so. There you guys go. I think we're down to the final one. It's the final countdown. I have recipes all over the place. Yeah. We're on to our last one, which is going to be called, we call it affectionately, Dad's Chicken. I think I'm going to have Sean come in here and tell you where he got this recipe, because I don't know. But if Sean ever says, like, hey, what do you want for dinner? If I don't say scalloped potatoes, which is like 99% of the time, I didn't even use this bowl. I ask him for his Dad's Chicken. It's a balsamic-y, brown sugar kind of sweet marinade, and he just barbecues it. We cut it up, and you can put it in anything. It doesn't matter if it's mashed potatoes and zucchini or scalloped potatoes or you name it, it goes with anything. So I'm gonna take a couple chicken breasts just because I'm gonna go get Sean. And maybe I'll make this one. Yeah, we'll just throw 2 in there for now. I'm gonna throw two chicken breasts in there. My last 2 chicken breasts that I have, I'm just gonna throw in a Ziploc and put in the freezer for whatever meal I come up with them later for. But let me go grab Sean and ask him if he will nicely do this. I'm gonna do a little quick cleanup. Otherwise he's gonna be like, I cannot work in this, you crazy lady. So I'll be right back. All right, well, Sean's on a conference call, so I couldn't get him in here. So I figured I'll just walk you through this, and maybe at the end of it, maybe by then he'll be off the phone and I can borrow him for 2 minutes. For this one, what we call Dad's Chicken marinade, I would also call it like a sweet and savory marinade. Maybe. I like it because it has balsamic in it. Call it whatever you want, you guys. It has 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. That's gonna go into the bottom of our bowl. Next, I have 1/4 of a cup of balsamic vinegar. We get a big bottle from Costco. It's nothing fancy. That's what that is. And then 1/4 a cup of low sodium soy sauce. Sean usually does a full recipe of this. I'm using half of a recipe. So what I'm telling you is a half. If he does a whole recipe, you can do like 6 chicken breasts easily. I didn't quite need that much, so I'm doing a half recipe. There you go. I need 2 tablespoons of evoo. This is another one of those recipes that he didn't really want to give, but he wrote it down in the book so I could steal it anyways. He's like, you give everything away. I'm like, well, so what? Isn't it nice to share? The next thing you need is some Worcestershire sauce. It's a tablespoon of Worcestershire. I love Worcestershire. When I was a kid, I would drown meat in Worcestershire sauce. I don't even know what kid does that at like 5 and 6 years old, but I liked it. 1.5 teaspoons, which is a half of a tablespoon, so I'm just gonna eyeball it, sesame oil. We get big bottles of sesame oil. We use it a lot. And then the last thing you need is 2 garlic cloves, chopped up really well, going in there. I'm just gonna use what I have left here, because you know. And then we already did the pepper, so that's our whole marinade. So it's got like the salty from the soy, the sweetness from the brown sugar, the balsamic is a little like tingy of, I don't know what you would call balsamic. It's not sour, it has a sweet to it. Worcestershire has that savory, the garlic, it's so good. Anyways, that's his recipe. Like I said, I don't know where he got it. We've been using it for like 15 years. So, and probably since before Google existed. So maybe he got it out of a newspaper. That's where he used to get a lot of his recipes, like an old man. Again, in this bag, I have 2 chicken breasts. And make sure you scrape the bottom because the brown sugar in this one kind of does settle a little bit. So this one we love to do day of traditionally. We'll marinate it. Sean will marinate it in the morning, and then we just let it marinate all day, and then he barbecues it up. But you can freeze it as well. So that's what we are going to do. Like I said, I have all of my chicken breasts over here, all my bags ready to go. So now I have 7 meals. Okay, this video is like 30 minutes, I know, which is longer for us, but we did show you 7 dinners in that amount of time. If I wasn't talking it through, you would have been able to do this much, much faster. I would say probably 30 minutes in total. So, sounds like he's still on the phone. Anyways, that is Sean's, what we call Dad's Chicken. That's my favorite of the group. The ranch chicken sandwich, honey mustard one, that one is bomb.com. There's not really anything that I don't like here. Otherwise, I wouldn't show you. But what I like is that they're all very, very different. So you could literally, like, if you made double batches of this, you'd have chicken for days. Like, you know what I mean? Anyways, I'm gonna go clean this up. If he ever gets off the phone, I'll have him come in here and explain to you where he got that recipe really quickly so that you're in the now. But who knows? Anyways, like I said, in the description below, I will have every single one of these recipes. I will also put how you can cook it in the oven, pan, air fryer, or barbecue with approximate time for each recipe. So look for that below. But let me get cleaned up and see if he gets off the phone. I mean, it's like he has a full-time job or something. What the heck, man?
All right, so I guess we're back.
Now we are back.
Okay, so now I guess we're back. Actually have a full-time job. So.
That's what I said. I said, it's not like he doesn't have a full-time job to do. And I said, I'll be able to steal him for just a couple minutes.
So I'm taking a couple minutes. All right, what do you want me to explain?
So I made
Dad's chicken?
Dad's chicken. I made a half recipe.
Did you already tell them what's in it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I would assume when I made the recipe that they heard what was in it.
Well, I have that one memorized.
Okay.
Well, I wasn't here. I was literally like, I don't know, 6, 12, maybe 18 feet away.
Yeah,
but,
his office backs up to behind our refrigerator.
But there's a thing in the way and I was on the phone. Never mind. Anyways, she wanted me to explain where I got this recipe. When we first moved to Georgia, I got a free newspaper from our local newspaper for like the first year, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then we moved again and I got it for another year. So that was kind of cool.
And for like, we don't live in a small town. We live in, and out here they call them counties anyways. But for a little local newspaper, it wasn't too shabby.
No, it was good.
If you want to know when the tractor pull is,
they had recipes of the day type thing or of the week, whatever it was.
That's where the scalloped potatoes came.
And so, I'll have to think on that one.
Anyway.
No, the scalp. I'll let you guys know later.
Anyway.
But this one came from a newspaper, and I have pretty much kept this the same. We do call it Dad's Chicken, but I gotta admit, I don't think I've changed the recipe enough to call it Dad's Chicken. That's just what we call it because the kids love it so much. In fact, we have a well, we'll call him a adopted nephew. My best friend growing up, he is a minor league pitcher. He's very good. He's going to be in the majors someday. He came over and stayed because he had a tournament out here. I made this chicken, and he gave me the biggest hug I've ever had because he loved it so much. So it's pretty good.
And he's like 6'7", so when he gives you a hug,
he is now.
It's a big hug. Anyways, that's our dad's chicken. Like I said, any of these marinades you could make the day of, or make them and freeze them so that you have 7 meals ready to go.
I think making and freezing works perfectly. If you do make them the day of, I think minimum's like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Better to go to 8.
We usually, like, as we're making coffee in the morning, kind of like getting our morning
That's what
started,
I usually do.
That's
You
when
can
we usually
do
make them.
you can do overnight, but I find with chicken, overnight starts to break it down a little too much.
Yeah,
It
the
depends on
acids
how you want to cook it, and it depends on the marinade. But
for this, it's fine because it defrosts and it continues to marinate as it defrosts instead of being like penetrating it the whole time with that.
yeah, but if you like to
stuff.
sleep in,
So.
then or you can just watch Midnight with Sean, and that's when I do it sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I know this was a long video, but like I said, you now have 7 marinades. You're ready to make a whole bunch of freezer meals for yourself so your family can eat, and they're all tasty.
We're gonna get these in the freezer.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching.
And don't forget to write it down so that you remember what's in your freezer.
That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole other story. Thanks for watching, guys.